Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Sunday. You know what? I'm not going to edit that out. Clint says hello. I can only laugh. Okay, let's get back. It's just been a normal week here. Not counting the hurricane or the lack of stitching. I'm sorry, I'm tickled. Not had much stitching done this week. I only got a little bit. I'm struggling to work on Forever Young. It's a beautiful piece. The colors are my colors. I love it. Jacob chose it. I just don't want to stitch it. Don't know why. And I don't want to start on anything else because I'm so close to a finish. If I just hunker down, I can get it done, and I'll have it done before September, before I make 2 more starts. So I'm going to plan on pushing myself to work through some more today. I'm going to show you what little bit of progress I have. I finished up this motif, this tree, and started on this one. I hope to have this one completed this evening. I'm sure I will. And then I'm bringing the border around. So probably today I'll work more on the border, finish this, and then put a few more of these leaves in and maybe start the 3rd motif. So there's those, and that's it. I love that man. Let's work to get this video finished before he returns. Anyway, back to my stitching. That's all I've worked on this week as far as stitching is concerned, because I'm just really, I'm finding it difficult to work on it, and that happens sometimes with a piece. It's just not drawing me in. I really don't want to make a new start before my 2 scheduled ones for October, but so let's just say I'm going to do my best. But then again, I'm a stitcher. Stitcher's prerogative. I often change my mind. So next week I may have done something totally different, and I might have had problems making my mind up this week. Kind of like Flo has been over in the ocean this week. To all those that were affected in North Carolina and in the South Carolina shores by the hurricane with the flooding and property damage, my heart goes out to you. I'm thankful that the storm was not as damaging as the news reports, the fake news reports, were claiming for them to be. Here inland in my area, they were calling for like 40 to 60 mile per hour winds. And so I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday night we started getting the winds, and they were mild. And we got them on and off up through yesterday. We do have a little bit of wind today. Just normal, say, March winds. Nothing damaging. We have had rain. This is the 3rd day in a row, which is to be expected. Here in our area, we've been in kind of a drought for the last half of the summer, so the rain is much needed and very much appreciated. So overall, we've come through it just fine. I've enjoyed these few days of being inside, and yesterday Chelsea and I used the day to craft. When I did have to work yesterday for a little while, and Jacob's girlfriend Alyssa came over to spend the day with us, and so we ended up at Hobby Lobby. Chelsea had decided that she wanted to make one of the tissue paper mache covered boxes that I showed you all a couple of videos ago. And we got to Hobby Lobby, and of course, for those that love to craft and paint and, you know, everything, it is distracting. So an hour and a half later, we walked out. Chelsea had a scroll work wooden box to paint, and Alyssa had some canvases. and I come out with a wooden plaque with some letters, and I showed this on Instagram yesterday. I also sent this in a message to some close friends, and no one, not to leave myself out, even noticed my mistake. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it looks. It makes me happy. I plan to put it up here. I was so excited I was going to have finished, even though I didn't have a stitch finish to show you all today. And I have no S. And it wasn't on purpose. What was I thinking? So I do have enough room to scoop the letters over to make room for the S. But I bought all of these letters, and they look to be like maybe a pressed wood or pressed pulp paper, and I painted each one of them, and they're all a slightly different shade of some of the colors that I had in my color stash, my paint stash. The frame, I did nothing to it. I bought it just as is. It has the jute twine. The only thing is the hanger is over on this side on the edge. Why it would be there, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to have it there, but hey, I went in there and was teasing the girls. I would love to have like a sign in an old fairy tale where it says Stitch Room that way. And I found this piece, and I said, you know what, then it's on the same aisle with these letters. So I found the letters, and yes, I did find an arrow, but I didn't like the arrow. So I just thought this would be a cool, cute, little fun craft and something I could hang up here in the room. And I really do love how it turned out. I'm just missing that S. So maybe next weekend I'll have something else to show you. And such as a finish on this. I also, when I went in there yesterday to Hobby Lobby, I was looking for a frame for my Lottie doll. If you remember last week, I showed this finished. Excuse me, I still have not finished it. I mean, ironed it or fully finished it. I was looking for a frame for this, and the frame I picked out, I loved it, but it just wasn't for this piece when I brought it home. So this time I took this in, still could not find a frame that stood out. There was one. It was a 5x7, and I need an 8x10 for this, and it would have been perfect, but they didn't have it in an 8x10 size. So I went to the back to the framing department and found a white frame that had been nicked up and scratched up and dinged up, and I decided just to get it and paint it because they had them 50% off. And this is what I ended up with. After many trial and errors, this piece has had at least 4 other colors other than this one. I started off with a taupey beige. It looked awful. Actually, it was this color. It washed out the piece totally. I thought it would make it pop, and it didn't. Then I went with a darker color, such as this kind of gray color that's in his tail feathers and in his spots, and I think it's like a $37.99. It looked horrible. So then I went with the rusty red that's in the piece. Once again, horrible, excuse me. And I ended up with this yellow. Let me show you what it looks like. I was going for, and the lighting is making it look much more yellow than it is. I was going for the yellow in the bird there. Is there something I can put behind it? Let me see. So I took a yellow and I mixed in some of the green, and let me see. Can you see? It's like a yellowish green color. That's what I was going for. And then I got it up here and forgetting that the walls up here were yellow. So am I going to leave it this color? Maybe. Am I going to change the color again? Possible. Stitcher's prerogative again. I reserve the right to change my mind anytime to suit the needs at the moment. So, there's that. I got one pattern in this week. It is a Chessie and Me. It's the Grant House Sampler 1865. You remember earlier in the year I bought, I think it was the Lincoln House that come out earlier this year. But I got this. The fabric came in last week. I don't think I showed it in the video. But it's just Confederate Gray, Wheat Style Works. And I love the eagle there. I love the exaggerated length of the flag. This is just a cute design. I really like it. I think she has a couple of other small samplers like this that are homes of historical figures. You hear that? I hear geese. Not far from my home, you know, just a short walking distance, there is an equine rescue. And there are, I know that 2 ponds that I can see. And there's always birds there, sometimes herons, sometimes the geese, you can hear them. And I happen to have the windows open because, once again, back to Flo. Not only did she bring wind and rain, but she cooled the weather down tremendously because it has been in the 90s all week. It has been smothering hot, and as of right now, I have my windows up, and it feels amazing. Amazing. What else do I have going on? I think that's it. My plan this week is to continue working on Forever Young, unless I just can't handle it anymore and have to switch up. Oh, just a couple of shout-outs. I got a message yesterday from a new Flosstuber named, her Flosstube name is Fireside and Fairy Tale. She's from Britain. She has a few designs that she is putting out, and she has done her first Flosstube. If you get a minute, just go check her out. Give her a welcome to Flosstube. Let her know how much we love seeing her here, as well as any new Flosstubers. I love to see when others step out, because I want to see what you're stitching. I want to be enabled and inspired, and appreciate your stitching right along with you. Also, Vanna, welcome back. Welcome back. You have been sorely missed. Teresa Kitten Stitcher, always got to remember to mention Teresa. She has been doing a couple Stitch With Me videos, and she's got her Stitch With Me set up a little differently than others have done in the past. So it's kind of like you're sitting in her stitch room and she's chatting it up to you, and I really love that. She's such a smart lady and has such great stories, so I just love to listen to her. What else? Who else have I been watching this week? I can't even think. I put them on. I try to make sure that I comment. Another one I watched was Lynette Homesteading on the Home Front, who was showing her fair winds, her ribbons. Let me say it. That makes sense, because she always says fair winds and following seas. When I say fair winds, I mean ribbons from the fair. So go check out Lynette's newest videos and see the pieces that she won ribbons for. I know a lot of you have been showing your fair winds. There I go again. Ribbons from the pieces you entered into your local fairs. And I am so glad that as a community we are doing that. And I thank Julie McConnell for last year kind of pushing that towards all of us that view her videos, of how important it is to keep needlework in the eye of others that are not in this community. So thank you for that. And my memory is about that long, so oftentimes I can't remember who I've watched. So I'll just leave it here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for visiting with me. Thanks always for the comments, for the thumbs up, for the thumbs down. this is just a great, supportive, loving, friendly community, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And I thank you for taking the time to spend a bit of your day with me. Until next time, hugs and stitches. See you soon. Bye-bye.